President Trump has a vision, and certainly he's been very outspoken about the United Nations. This isn't going to go any further. I don't believe that Hamas is going to disarm. President Trump really doesn't like too many European leaders too much, but he certainly likes Prime Minister Orbán quite a bit.
Bryan, so good to see you again.
So good to see you. Jónapad to all my friends in Hungary. And Steffi, welcome to the beautiful Palm Beach, Florida.
Thank you so much. Very kind. On the day we are recording this interview, an armed man was shot dead by the U.S. Secret Service at Mar-a-Lago, not far from here, because he tried to unlawfully enter a secured perimeter at President Donald Trump's resort. Why do these kind of attacks keep happening?
Well, we're not sure exactly what happened today at Mar-a-Lago, just down the road, but thank God everyone is okay. President Trump was not at Mar-a-Lago when this happened, but the Secret Service and Palm Beach sheriffs took action, and they eliminated the threat, which was the right thing to do. Any kind of attacks against the president or anyone in his administration, they have to be met with force, and thankfully everyone is okay except for the person that tried to get in there.
So let's speak about the Board of Peace Summit, which recently took place in Washington, D.C. How much influence does the Board of Peace have, and do you think it can become as influential as the UN once was?
Well, I think it might. I would like to see that happen. I think President Trump has a vision, and certainly he's been very outspoken about the United Nations and how ineffective they really have become over the years. We all see that, okay? That's not, any breaking news for anyone. Everyone knows what the UN is, and it's a horrible organization. So it is possible that the Board of Peace might become some type of a new UN of sorts, and I think it would be amazing. I think what President Trump did, bringing all of these world leaders together, really was truly amazing. And of course, your Prime Minister, Viktor Orbán, was there front and center, so I thought it was really good, and I'm anxious to see how this unfolds over the next couple weeks and months.
Arabic countries and the U.S. itself are contributing altogether $17 billion for the rebuilding of Gaza and to support humanitarian aid efforts and to ensure security in the Palestinian territory. Also, an international stabilization force has been established. Even saying it is difficult, but carrying it out seems almost impossible, the disarmament of Hamas.
Well, that's the biggest thing, Steffi. I mean, at the end of the day, we can talk about, rebuilding Gaza and talk about all these grand things that we can do to redevelop Gaza, but Hamas is still tens of thousands of soldiers. They're armed to the teeth. They haven't laid down their arms yet. They continue to go on the offensive against the IDF and the Israelis. So until Hamas is disarmed, this isn't going to go any further. I don't believe that Hamas is going to disarm voluntarily. So I think that we're probably going to see some type of a situation with the Israelis going back into Gaza to eliminate Hamas once and for all, because they're never going to be able to rebuild Gaza. They're never going to be able to give the Palestinian people living in Gaza actually some kind of a fresh start until they get rid of Hamas.
Donald Trump mentioned the Russian-Ukrainian conflict at the meeting. He said, quote, "I thought this would be easy because I have a very good relationship with Putin, but it's not." How do you see the current phase of resolving the conflict?
It hasn't happened yet, and I think President Trump has put all of his time and energy and the clout of the United States behind trying to bring the Russia-Ukraine war to an end, but unfortunately it hasn't happened yet. Listen, to have peace, you have to have two sides that want to have peace. We saw with Azerbaijan and with Armenia, they were at each other's throats for decades, and President Trump was able to sit down those world leaders and bring them together and say, enough with the fighting, enough with the bloodshed, and he brought them together. That was because there were two partners for peace. From my vantage point here in the United States, I do not see any partners for peace on either side there. I don't think the Russians and Putin want peace. I don't think the Ukrainians and Zelensky want peace. I don't really know what's going to happen, but one thing I do know is that the EU continues to prop up Ukraine. They continue to send hundreds of millions, billions of dollars in, and they just keep the war just keeps continuing because of what the EU continues to send in. So I hope it comes to an end. We all hope it comes to an end. We hope the bloodshed and the dying and the war comes to an end, but I don't know if it's going to. And I think President Trump has really tried so hard to make it happen. But unfortunately, there's an old saying, maybe it translates in Hungarian, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force the horse to drink the water. And that's what's happening right now. President Trump has done everything he can to lead both Zelensky and Putin to the table, but neither of them won peace.
And what do you think how EU leaders will respond to the proposals by the Board of Peace, whether it's about Gaza or Ukraine?
Well, I think President Trump has quite a bit of political capital in Europe right now, and especially with some of the different players. So I think the Europeans are going to be interested to see how the Board of Peace unfolds. Of course, they might not go all in with it right away, but I think that President Trump really has a lot of respect now in the European countries and all throughout NATO, for that matter. So we'll see how this unfolds over the next couple of weeks and months.
You're Hungarian on your mother's side. Both of your great-grandparents were Hungarian. They were born in the Munkács region, which today belongs to Ukraine. I guess what happens around Hungary carry a special significance to you.
Well, it does. And on my next trip, hopefully during CPAC Hungary in a couple of weeks, I would like to finally visit Munkács because I haven't visited yet, and I would like to make that happen. But of course, it's very important. And what I understand about the Munkács area is that a lot of the people that are living there, they still speak Hungarian, they still eat Hungarian food, they try and go to Hungarian school. So being Hungarian is very important to them. And I know that your Prime Minister and people in your government have done an amazing job to make sure that the Ukrainians don't take away their Hungarian heritage, because it's very important.
And what does it mean to you?
I think what it means to me to be able to potentially visit Munkács for the first time and trace the steps of my great-grandparents would be very, very amazing. And I also just think we've got to keep national identity together, and that's something that we have done in the United States very well. And I think that, Prime Minister Orbán and others in Hungary, they see Munkács, they see the people that are there, they still want to be Hungarian. So I don't know if we're going to get the land back. That could be very interesting. And of course, I think where I stand on that. That'd be great to have the land back. But it is important for the Hungarians there to still have their culture and still have connectivity to Hungary.
President Trump expressed his total and complete endorsement of Viktor Orbán ahead of the upcoming parliamentary election in April, and said that he was very proud of him.
Well, I think that President Trump certainly looks at Prime Minister Orbán as a trusted confidant, as someone that he can count on to get things done inside of Europe. I don't think it's a secret here. President Trump really doesn't like too many European leaders too much, but he certainly likes Prime Minister Orbán quite a bit. And we've seen that. Listen, the Prime Minister and our President have had a fantastic relationship. We just saw an amazing state visit from our Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, and he delivered that message that the relationship between President Trump and Prime Minister Orbán is as strong as it ever has been before. And it's amazing. Listen, I've said this many times. Hungary is a country of less than 10 million people. But Hungary consistently is punching well above her weight on not just the European stage, but on the world stage as well. And that's because of your Prime Minister.
Are you visiting Hungary anytime soon?
Well, sure. I'll see you at CPAC Hungary.
See you at CPAC Hungary.
Of course.
Thank you, Bryan.
Köszönöm szépen. Thank you.